Welcome to the Divot The Diva, where golf tradition meets, well, whatever Susan decides golf should be today. Jay's the lifelong golfer who's coached it, covered it, and lived it. Susan's the brand new golfer with a fresh take, fierce confidence, and absolutely no idea where her tee shot just went. Together, they're proving golf is more fun and way funnier when a divot teams up with a diva. Now, on to the tee.
Hi friends, welcome to the podcast. I'm Jay. To the left is my lovely, beautiful wife, Susan.
Hello.
And we are the Divot
And the Diva.
Yay! We're absolutely thrilled you joined us today. We finally made it on the air. Recording the podcast is only the start. If you're watching this, it means I've actually edited and cut and produced, which will be my first. So let's keep our fingers crossed. So what do you think? Are you ready for this journey?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's go for it. We're so excited to be here with you, and we're going to talk a lot of golf, but we're going to do it in maybe a little bit different way. So there's about 5 million podcasts out there in the world. There's about 120 golf podcasts, but there's only a small handful of podcasts that are actually hosted by husband and wife or couples. So we're excited to kind of add to that list. Our perspective is really pretty unique. I come from a background of golf which spans about 50 years. I've been a competitive player. I've been a college golf coach. I've been an instructor. I'm a golf broadcaster. And
Do all those things have initials? Because that's a lot of initials after somebody's name. Wow.
yeah, we do live in an initial, LOL and IDK and all that stuff. But so I've been around the block a little bit with golf, where you, on the other hand, have a very unique story because you come to the game of golf with a very fresh perspective. You've been around for about 2.5 years. You were introduced to the game of golf in the spring of 2023. And the thing that impresses me the most about you is you come with a perspective I've never seen before. What was it about the game of golf that you really kind of dipped your toe in, and why did you even do it?
Well, because I was dating you. I mean, why else would I do that? Golf was really just something we put on Sunday afternoon to take a good nap to before all of that. But I just think partners should at least appreciate what the other person's doing. I don't think it's necessary for them to do it. So I didn't get into golf just because I felt like I should. I was just super curious about it, which I'm curious about everything. So that should not shock anybody that really knows me.
Yeah, I've never really been around a new golfer with your enthusiasm, your purpose, and a real drive to know some of the more nuances of the game of golf. And I'll give you some examples.
Because there are some stupid rules regarding this crazy game, which I'm not even sure why we play, because, wow. It was
you had a chance to turn around and run from it.
I probably should have, but then the shot that keeps you coming back happened. So now I'm hooked. It's too late. Lord have mercy. But it's one of the only, I just think it's a sport that will humble everyone. I'm assuming the PGA and LPGA players would say the same thing.
Yeah, it really is. It takes a special lot of us to get into the game in the first place, and then make a conscious decision to stay in the game. But it takes me back to almost 3 years ago. I watched my fair share of golf. Okay, that's kind of my release from reality in a way. But I remember I'm watching golf, and you sat down beside me and actually took an interest and started asking a lot of questions. For example, I remember we were watching a tournament, and Justin Thomas had hit a wayward tee shot over by a cart path. You knew at the time that
Pretty sure you're not
golf.
supposed to move your ball
You're not supposed
because
to-
that would make the game a whole heck of a lot easier if you could, when you wanted to, of course.
I know.
Not happening.
I want to invent the term hand wedge. So you just take
Nope.
the ball and you just heave it up there, and it's a continuation of your last stroke. But Justin Thomas had hit it close to a cart path. He was standing on a cart path. So he picked up the ball. He's got a club out, and you're wondering, why? He's got a bag. He's got a big bag. Why didn't he put his clubs in his bag? He's got this driver out. It's laying on the ground. Now he's moving it around. What's going on? So it gave me an opportunity to explain one of the rules of golf, which cart path is something you can't move, and so therefore you get free relief from it. Mm-hmm. So he took his stance relief no closer to the hole and made the drop and continued on. I remember another situation where Scotty Scheffler had hit his ball into a bunker, and he's hovering his club above the sand, above the ball, and then he hits it like that, and you're like, well, that's odd. Normally, I see him out of the fairway or the rough or the tee box, and he firmly puts his club on the ground behind the ball. So it gave me another opportunity to explain that a bunker is a hazard, and you can't ground your club, or it's a penalty.
Because you might actually disturb the ball, too. They can't move the ball.
Yeah, a lot of. Well, at the end of the day, the Royal Ancient and way back in the day decided that bunkers are just going to be obstructions on the golf course that these architects put there to frustrate the heck out of us golfers, because
Succeeding.
when we do hit them in there, sometimes we don't always get them out in the first shot. So it's a hazard.
Early on in learning to play, we went to the driving range and hit balls off the driving range, which didn't go too badly, I guess, because I'm still playing. But there was a bunker along the side, and people practice out of the bunker. So I was like, I want to practice out of the bunker. He's like, no, you don't. Yeah, I do. No, you really don't. Like, well, I'm going to be in the bunker, very likely, so I should know how to get out of the bunker. That was my rationale, of course. And what's super funny is I actually would prefer to be in the bunker than in the deep rough. I'm not so great out of the deep rough, but out of the bunker, I am really not that bad. I'm pretty good.
You aren't, and it shocked me because I was like, oh no, she wants to hit it from a bunker. I mean,
He thought I was going to be whacking at it 5 or 6
I thought
times.
she was going to dig herself a big deep hole.
No.
And actually, I gave her very basic instruction. I just told her to open up her stance a little bit, kind of open up the club face a little bit. Kind of attack the ball from an outside angle in, so that you cut across it, because once the flange of that golf club hits the sand, it's like a stop you've never felt before. And I said, hit about an inch or two behind the ball. That's all I said to her. First shot out over the lip of the bunker, it rolls down on the green, and I'm like,
Of course, I wasn't really trying to get it anywhere in particular, just out of the bunker. So that has changed just a little bit, but still, getting it out of the bunker is the first goal.
Well, and that's another thing that was a little bit of a concern early on, is because I thought, okay, how much instruction can I throw into this marriage?
Oh, yeah, because it falls into the 2 things Jay says the spouse is not supposed to teach the other, or do with the spouse. Hang wallpaper, which is an old thing. I guess it's coming back around, but hang wallpaper and teach them how to play golf. So he very quickly said, okay, if you really want to learn, then you have to take lessons, which I'm like, okay. So we live on a golf course. We have a pro shop. We have pros. So I set up lessons with one of my best buds who had played a little bit of golf before, had a club in her bag she had for 2 years and never had used. So I was like, okay, we're going to change that. And so we set up lessons with Riley, and it was super fun because she is left-handed, I am right-handed, and so we could face each other, and Riley could stand off to a distance, but between us, and give instructions. And I could watch what she was doing, and she could watch what I was doing, and it was a lot of fun. But when we started playing together, after that.
You and I?
Yes, you and I. Jay very quickly got to, I'm taking your short game back.
Oh, yeah.
That was a while, though. I mean, I had taken a few lessons, played decent amount of golf, and then you're like, all right, trying to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I let Riley, handle the full swing.
And get me moving. Riley got me moving.
He did. And actually, we'll probably do that coming out of the spring this next year in 2026. Probably sign up for, 2 or 3 lessons with Riley once again. We've done that the last 2 years, and I think it's been effective. And your handicap has dropped from,
are you actually going to tell him? Okay, good.
Well,
it's not a number you want to repeat.
Well, but golf's golf.
Much better.
Here's the beauty of golf. Beauty of golf isn't, can I play like Scotty Scheffler or Nelly Korda? Or
it's
whoever.
not?
No. That's a misnomer. It's a big myth. Golf is about playing against your own standards.
Right.
Golf
that
is so unique. If you and I want to go play tennis or pickleball, individual sports just like golf, but they require constant interaction from the other party.
Right.
The beauty about golf is it's just you, the golf ball, and the hole you're playing.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Throw par out the window for now.
Oh, yeah. We did not keep score for me for a very long time.
Well, it's hard to keep score when you don't finish a hole.
Oh, well, hard to keep score when it gets past double digits. Okay, we didn't let it get that far, but
you wouldn't let it get that far.
Right, because pace of play matters, and so I learned that I could take however many swings I wanted, but at some point, got to pick up the ball and keep moving. And so that didn't bother me. I mean, I was learning, and I'm assuming I can call myself a new player for a couple more years, so I'm not too frightened about that prospect. But yes, I just learned to pick up the ball, and if I'm frustrated, pick up the ball. If this hole is kicking my butt, pick up the ball. It's supposed to be fun. Ultimately, it is. I mean, I'm not ever going to play competitive golf, and you're way past that prime. Sorry, babe. So it's supposed to be fun, and so I want it to be fun. And so I play with people that I enjoy playing with on days where the weather is amenable to playing nice golf. And I do keep meticulous score now, but I do not worry as much about all of that.
Yeah, so this is one of the things we're going to focus on this podcast going forward is couples golf, because even though I've been in the game for 50 years, couples golf is new to me. I've never been in a position where I've had that reward of somebody who shares my passion, doesn't have to meet my passion, but shares my passion. And so I've been involved in, we belong to Reflection Ridge Golf Club in Wichita, Kansas. And I've been a part of this golf club for all its 36 years of existence.
Right.
And before you came along, I couldn't tell you when the ladies met, played, when couples play or whatever. And now we're intricately involved in that process.
Right. We have a very active women's golf club. We have a lot of ladies that sign up. We play on Tuesday nights. The men play on Wednesday nights. We play 9 holes in the evening, and the morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning is 18-hole golf. And then we have what we call wine and dine. Different clubs call it different things. No, not wine and dine. Oh my gosh, that's it. That's what I was about to say. He calls it. Oh wait, that's what he calls it.
I call it drinking and hit and giggle.
It's something. Nine and dine. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's nine and dine. Yeah. He always calls it wine and dine.
Yeah, because I know that there's going to be a lot of whining.
Anyway, on Friday nights, Friday evenings, it's couples, and it's super fun and a lot of we've met a lot of people that way. I mean, like the goal on Tuesday nights is to play with people I don't know. And on Friday nights for us to play with people we don't know or we haven't met. And he has played here, as he said, quite a long time, but he has never met so many of these guys' spouses until this last year when we started playing Nine and Dine. And so that's been a lot of fun. And then I see them when I play in other events or on Tuesdays sometimes or just on the tee sheet. And so it's super fun.
All right, so we're going to focus a lot on couples golf. And if you like what you hear so far, let us know. Tap like and subscribe at the bottom of the screen. We have episodes that are going to drop every 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, let's share how we've touched a little upon how you came to golf, but be a little bit more detailed. Let's talk about what brought us into the game of golf.
So obviously, I already said he played. It was a passion of his, so I started paying attention. We ended up watching a lot of golf, but we ended up watching, I believe it's a Netflix series called Full Swing, and it had what I loved about it. I thought I would not like it. I believe Megan, your daughter, told you about it, told us about
it.
Actually,
right.
Yeah. And so we decided to watch it, and I thought, oh gosh, wow, okay, here we go. But I loved it, and it's very much like the Olympics for me. I enjoy watching the Olympics, not just because these are amazing athletes, which they are, but because they tell these awesome backstories, so we get to know the athletes in a different way. And so that's what Full Swing, in my opinion, did for me, for these famous golfers. And so I could actually repeat some of their names, which was super cool. And then he had a group of friends that had invited him to the Masters. So sad, isn't it? Yeah. And that happened to be the year that was couples year. And so he invited me to go, which I'm like, yes, Masters, yes. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about golf, but I don't care. Yes. It's like the Super Bowl is to football. The Masters is to golf.
And I thought at absolute worst, because my lovely, way much better half has, even though it doesn't look like she's got a green thumb or two, but she really does. She loves working outside in shrubs and flowers, and she likes to get her hands dirty. And I thought at worst, she would love the dogwoods, the
grounds,
azaleas, and the grounds, and just the aesthetic beauty of Augusta National. I mean,
it is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. I think for those golfers who know the game of golf well, if you were to give them one course before they left this earth, what course would they love to play? And I'm sure the majority would say Augusta National. And I've been lucky. I've been on the property, I think 4 times now, so it's been a lot of fun.
So that was my first time, and that particular trip, we were there half day on Thursday, and I was exhausted by the time we were done. That was absolutely enough for me. So next time when I get like full tickets to one of the big grandstands, I'll stay for days. But with general admission, I think half day was perfect. But, I was, 10, 12 feet from Scotty Scheffler hitting out of the pine straw, and watched him do miraculous things, by the way. Kudos to you, Scotty. It was super fun. I enjoyed it. And the guys, the people, there was a couple. So people who played golf brought their clubs, and they would play on the days where they weren't going to the Masters. And I would occupy myself, which I'm very capable of doing. But when we got back, and Jay never said I had to play golf. I don't even think you actually asked me if I wanted to play golf. I think I said, I think I want to try it. So there was no pressure at all, of course. And so then we started. I borrowed clubs, or we had old clubs here. I don't know how. We can't remember. And went to the driving range a couple times, and then had the lessons with Riley, a few lessons with Riley. And then this set of 3 girlfriends of mine, super close, I've known for many, many, many years. They had played golf previously, or were playing a little bit of golf, not much. And so we were like, let's play. So we drove 30 minutes from home. to a very small, but
We live on a golf
full.
course, and so
We
she
live on a golf
drives
course, but
30
I'm not.
minutes to play.
30 minutes to a course, a little bit out of town, 18 holes, but we played 9. And the reason we did that was because there was really nothing to hit. Trees, water, bunkers, but no structures to hit, and nobody was watching me. So, I mean, I'm competitive and I like to be good. I also do not like to feel stupid, which I've gotten better at getting past. But I did not want anybody watching me make a mess of this game, and we had the most fun. I swear, I don't know how many balls we lost. One of them, her husband, she was telling him how many balls we lost, and he goes, "Do you know how much money you just wasted?" I'm like, "Oh, please, who cares?" He was counting how much each ball cost.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
I don't care. Anyway, it was super fun. We played there multiple times, and it took a bit for me. As a matter of fact, a couple here at the club wanted us to play the couples 9 and 9, and I was like, no, thank you, no. And they're like, "Ooh, she's adamant." Yeah, and you don't know me. When I say no, I mean no. And so they kind of backed off, and then I was like, "Well, all right," because they said, "We don't care. It's fun. You can pick up the ball. It's fun. It'll be fun." So I said, "Okay, fine, I will." But thank God, huge thunderstorm that night, and we could not play. Darn it. So I avoided that for a while. I just wasn't ready for it. But anyway, so that's how I finally, after that, decided, okay, I'm not that bad. Though I bet I'm...
It's a relative term in golf.
It is, absolutely. Because I'm pretty sure I don't know anybody else that has a dent in the back of their driver. Not my current driver, but... previous driver.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah, so those of you who are learning, if you haven't dented the back of your driver, you're not as bad as I was when I started. So take heart.
You've made some
drastic improvements. And then Jay wanted to buy me a set of golf clubs, and I said, fine, that's fine. Except I don't know if I'm going to really be playing this sport because I have arthritis, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, work around that. And so I said, fine, you can buy me clubs, but here's the stipulation. The entire bag of clubs, including the bag, so the clubs in the bag have to cost, the whole thing has to cost less than your driver, which he managed to do.
It cost less than $300 that I paid for my driver?
Yay, dude, good job. You did a good job. He did a good job. Yeah. Super fun. So yes, I played with those, thank you, Wilson clubs, and a pink and white Wilson bag. And I played with that for the first year, really. A year and a half.
Yeah, you've only had the new clubs for...
Yeah, almost 2 then. This
4
season.
months.
Yeah, this season.
Yeah.
So you can learn to play with anything, so don't get haughty about that. Just pick up a dadgum club and just go for it.
Yeah, speaking of you can learn to play with anything, my introduction to golf was when I was about 10 years old-ish, kind of circa 1970.
You can figure out how old he is that way, guys.
Yeah, do the public school math. Let's see, carry the one. Yeah. So yeah, it's early 70s. I'm watching TV. I'm getting ready to watch the game of the week on Saturday.
Baseball, right?
Yeah, baseball. Big baseball fan. I didn't give golf a second nod because I just hadn't had a chance to be exposed to it yet. And so I'm watching one of the 3 channels we had, and a show came on called Golf for Swingers, and it was hosted by Lee Trevino, who of course is one of the most popular and the greatest players in the history of the sport. He's known for as much for his ball striking ability as his personality. Just a great personality, great for golf. I wish we had more Lee Trevinos around.
Do you think he'd rethink the name of the show now?
Golf for Swingers? You think that'd work today?
No. Well,
it'd probably work.
Depends on the audience you're looking for, I guess. Anyway,
our world
sorry. Keep going.
Anything
Keep
is
going.
out there. So anyway, the purpose of the show was Trevino would have a couple of his entertainment buddies, and I think this particular episode had Sammy Davis Jr. and Jack Benny. It was a 3-hole match, and they're not very good golfers. They're probably, they shoot
very good entertainers
90 to 100, although, some people that's good. I guess I shouldn't say it that way.
Careful.
But the premise of the show is Lee Trevino could hit 2 shots per hole for each player, but he couldn't hit consecutive shots. And so he made it fun. Of course, he's this great player, hit all these great and amazing shots. So when the show was over, I remembered that my mom had a set of golf clubs. They were somewhere in the garage. Didn't know where, hadn't seen them in a long time. They couldn't be just in an easy, obvious place. They had to be behind my dad's power tools, so I had to move a bunch of table saws and stuff like that to have access to these golf clubs. So I grabbed what was a pitching wedge, and so I grabbed 2 or 3 golf balls from Mom's bag and went to the backyard and started chipping around. And I thought, oh, okay, this is kind of fun. And then I thought, okay, well, I want a flag stick, just like, Lee Trevino had on his show. And so my dad had an old piece of rebar and an old shirt in the shed, and so I Jimmy rigged it somehow to make it look like a flag stick, and I went and I stuck it in the ground at the corner of our house and the fence that separated our neighbor's house. So kind of right up against the house, very close to the house.
That's a boy's decision for you.
Yeah. I was definitely at the scene of that accident, and here's how it happened. So I go to the other side of the yard, and I'm chipping up towards my makeshift flag stick, and I absolutely dead sculled one, and it went past that rebar at about Mach 4 and crashed into the kitchen window of Mr. Stillwell.
Not your own. You couldn't break your own kitchen window.
No, I couldn't break somebody else's. I had to go one
Which,
step
by the way,
further.
I have not done. Praise God. Where's some wood?
Just not done yet.
I haven't done that.
Yeah.
Not planning on it.
And so once the smoke cleared, I had to mow yards for about half the summer to pay for the window.
Lord. Yikes.
But I was hooked. There was just something about that sensation, not of the one I sculled that broke Mr. Stillwell's window, but just the feeling and the sensation when you get it right. When you get it right, it's just such a great feeling. And so that's what brought me to the game of golf.
I laugh when you say that too, because I think golf is one of the most awkward. Well, this is true. The most awkward sport. I don't know why, but positioning wise, I'm like, there's just nothing comfortable about it, and nothing. Not even really anything real intuitive about how the body has to move. It's crazy. So it cracks me up. I mean, I played softball growing up, and volleyball was my sport. But yeah, golf has been a whole new adventure.
It has. Speaking of adventures, we're going to have some adventures on this podcast. We're going to focus and celebrate and honor couples that play golf, but we're not going to be a one-trick pony on this. We are going to dive into the worlds of professional golf, both on the men's and women's side. We're going to talk about YouTube golf content creators because it's something I got in a rabbit hole about 1.5 years ago. I'm hooked. I love YouTube golf because I watch it a lot.
It's watch on it a lot. All the time.
It's on quite a bit. But we're also going to tell our own personal stories, our travel stories.
There are plenty of those. Let me say.
There's plenty of interesting
stories.
Never
a dull moment
in the Divot and the Diva. In fact, we've got a couple of trips coming up day after Christmas. Depending on when this episode drops, it may have already dropped by then. But on the 26th of December, we're going to head to Antigua. And then in February, we're going to go to the Waste Management Open, Phoenix Open in Scottsdale. So we're going to play golf both places.
Right. But not at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, just in Phoenix.
They just don't know it yet. They have no idea that the Diva has a tee time on Thursday morning next to Justin Thomas and Ricky Fowler.
Oh, gosh, no. I wouldn't do that. But I would love to be standing next to any of those guys. They look like, so many of them are super fun, and most of them are really nice by the looks of them. So super fun. And we've also been coming up with other episode ideas. So my latest one was what's in your bag, like as in what's in your wallet or what's in your purse.
And so I'm thinking, what's in your bag? I'm thinking, okay, she plays, Cleveland Irons and Callaway Woods and things like that. But her perspective is totally different.
All the rest of it. Yep, that'll be fun. That'll be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So we're going to be out of the country playing golf. This is going to be your first time out of the country actually playing golf.
Play
we're
golf.
Going to be playing golf, I think literally right on the ocean in Antigua. It's a very small island, so
very small.
You're going to be on the edge of the ocean anyway. But I've been lucky enough to be able to play next to oceans, and there's really nothing like it. So one of the things we're going to play on our show is what we call the birdie bogey game. And I'm going to describe a scenario. If you agree with the outcome, it's considered a birdie. If you don't, it's a bogey. All right, so here's scenario number 1. You ready?
Ready.
All right. You live on a golf course, which
I do.
Right off of a par 4, which you do. Near the typical landing area for tee shots. There's no fence separating your yard from the course. When a player's drive ends up in your yard, they simply walk into your yard and retrieve your ball. Is that a birdie or bogey?
Well, if they can find it, they can retrieve it. If they can't find it, that's their problem, and it's my ball when I find it later. So that's a birdie. They can come into my yard and get their ball. There's no fence. I don't have any objection to that. I live on a golf course. They haven't broken anything. Our windows are tinted, so you can't. During the day, you really can't see inside. So I don't care.
So they can't see you watching them as they're
search for their ball.
Yeah.
Or Jay trying to point out their ball, which I told him he's not allowed because the rule in our yard is, again, if they can find it, they can have it. I'm not pointing it out to them. It's clearly out of bounds. Yes, our backyard is out of bounds. It's clearly out of bounds. They're going to have to drop and take a stroke anyway. And that's how I don't pay for balls. I mean, Jay always bragged he never pays for balls. Plays in so many tournaments. He gets them. People give them to him for Christmas. It's super nice. So yeah, I do this. I collect balls. They go in the bag. If we do have an agreement. If they're Pro V1, he does get it. Everything else goes to me. Yeah. He can have the Pro V1s. That's fine. I'm good with that.
And she likes the Callaways. So.
I do like the Callaways.
So it's kind of a shameless plug to Titleist and Callaway to maybe give us a golf ball deal.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
All right. It's a birdie for me, too.
Okay.
If you choose to live on a golf course,
balls are going to be flying.
You choose the risk of having people hit it in your yard and coming onto your property. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Scenario number 2. At the second stage of PGA Tour qualifying school, it's been a good 2 weeks ago now in Valdosta, Georgia. Severe weather forced play to stop during the 4th and final round, and the round was ultimately canceled. The tournament final results reverted to 54 holes instead of the scheduled 72. The top 15 in ties from that qualifier advanced to the final stage, which they've already had. All right, here's the controversy. A few players in the 4th round had already finished or were well into their back 9 when play was called. Some golfers started the day outside of that top 15, but were playing their way inside that number when the severe weather horn blew. In fact, 2 players that I know of that were outside the top 15 when the round started played their way in when the horn blew.
Significantly, not like just right over the line.
Right. Yeah, they were
clearly we're going to be
now
in.
the rounds hadn't been completed yet. A lot of things can happen.
So we don't really know, but yeah.
And so at the end of the day, the PGA officials elected to wipe out the final round. Those players lost the chance to have that strong final round performance, and it turned a 72-hole qualifier into a 54-hole qualifier, birdie or bogey, on the part of the PGA.
I know we've talked about this multiple times, but I think I'm now saying I'm calling that a bogey. It would be one thing if you wiped out the last round if no one had played, or no one, especially if no one had finished. If some had played but hadn't finished, that's a little different. But if no one had played, fine, just eliminate it. But all those players expected to play all of those rounds. And nobody likes to play badly, of course, but everyone hopes that the week gets better as the week goes on. And not to have that opportunity is terribly unfortunate and unexpected. And these storms don't generally last for days. Of course, I'm not on the PGA Rules Committee. I don't have to make these hard choices, but I would say it's a bogey. I would schedule now. There would be the caveat. If I was going to allow a last round, I would make them all play another round. Like I would not necessarily, because it's going to be on a different day, however many days later. I would not necessarily take the score of the ones who had already finished the last day.
Okay, that's
to
fair.
Even it out.
So, yeah, I think it's a bogey. It might even be a double bogey, because
Ow.
these are players who have had boyhood dreams of playing on the PGA Tour, and at the start of the PGA Tour qualifying process, there's pre-qualifying. There's stage 1, stage 2, and then final stage. So it's a real progression. And it costs somewhere in the neighborhoods of about $6,000 to go through this process. So these guys are nickel and diming their whole years. They're looking in their seat cushions at home and they're trying to find money any way they can get it. And they get there and they put themselves in a position to potentially secure themselves to advance to the final stage and ultimately play the PGA Tour, which is what they wanted to do since they were 10 years old. The way the PGA Tour or the sectional of the PGA Tour of America talk about it is they reverted to policy that they have for tournaments, which is if not more than half the field has finished. Right? That's when it's considered
unplayed,
a round.
If more than a half have completed the round.
Hey, then you stick around, and if it's tomorrow, whatever.
Figure it out.
Whatever. Okay. You got to have two different rules because this isn't a regular tournament. This is a qualifying process. Yeah. Again, these guys have paid a lot of money to enter this qualifying process. And so I know they've gotten a lot of, and hey, the PGA Tour of America, it's an amazing organization. They do so much for the game of golf, the growth of the game of golf, for juniors, for men, for women, the whole gamut. But I think on this one particular instance, I think they slipped on their lunch martini.
Oh, but regardless, it was a hard decision. So I do have grace for all sides.
All right, there you have it. Birdie bogey game. So this is the Divot and the Diva, where experience meets curiosity. Tap like if this episode made your day a little bit brighter, and subscribe at the bottom so the next episode will find you. We drop new episodes about every 2 or 3 weeks. So I think it's a wrap for our first podcast. What do you think?
Right.
Anything we missed?
We're good.
That can't wait till next time?
Nope, we're good.
All right, so I'm Divot, she's the Diva. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. Remember, play fast, play fair, collect friends along the way, and be sure to join us next time on The Divot
And the Diva.
Bye now.